Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Rev, and we're continuing our journey on America's Great Loop aboard the Here's to Us.
Yes, and today we are going to tell you about our fantastic journey that we had from
Fantastic.
Albany, New York, at the Yacht Club there, where we had stayed for 3 days, and up the Hudson and through the Troy Lock. It's a federal lock, and then we went through a number of locks. Rev is going to tell you about that, I'm sure. But we ended up here in Donovan's Mohawk Harbor in Schenectady, New York, where we have going to stay for 3 days.
So this is the trip that I was most terrified of when he told me about going on the Great Loop, because we had to go through locks. That's where you're at one elevation, you get in this chamber, and the ones we've been on so far, the water's risen and it takes us to another elevation. Well, I was freaked out because I really didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and we had looked at a number of locking videos. We knew the mechanics of how the lock worked, but what we didn't know is what to expect in each particular lock, whether they were lines, cables, or ropes, or whatever it was.
I didn't know
we didn't know exactly what
was
going to happen and how we were going to manage it.
Yes.
But we survived. We went through, what was it, 7 locks?
Seven locks.
To get here.
Yeah. So going from Albany, the first lock we came to was called Troy. I think you mentioned that before. Mm-hmm. Troy has a big, giant pole running up and down. They're inset in these like little chambers, and I had to take one of our lines and wrap it around and hold it like this, you know, kind of like you're riding a horse, and wrap it around that. And then as the boat rises, you kind of just move the rope
and you did a great job. We had our headsets on. We kept the engines running. The lockmaster said keep the engines running. We did. And I used the bow and stern thrusters to kind of keep us on and off the wall. And we were talking back and forth. It went just perfectly.
Well, this is just our experience, because we know a lot of boats don't have a bow and stern thruster. And there's only 2 of us on this 50-foot boat. So I can't imagine having a boat this size without those thrusters, just because when we would get too far away from the wall, Sam was able to get us back closer.
And as the water started coming in, there was a little bit of current, and probably had to move the boat fore and aft a little bit, but it wasn't that challenging.
Right.
So we got through 6 more locks. They were all a little bit different.
You're trying to rush the story. I wanted to make this more painful.
All right.
But anyway, not more painful, but, you know, it's just, it was a big day, and it was a very traumatic thing. After we went through Troy, then we came to a fork in the road, and you had to choose to go to the Erie Canal or to the Champlain Canal. And not Champagne, it's Champlain. And so we were Erie, of course, because that's our route. And the next lock was just right there. There's a free dock, Waterford, that you could tie up to, but we were coming from Albany, so we were, blew right past that.
And we did have to wait. There was no space at the Waterford free docks for us to tie up and wait. So we were in line. Another boat in front of us was maneuvering back and forth. We were maneuvering back and forth, trying to stay in the deep water and try not to hit other boats. And there was a boat behind us maneuvering, doing the same thing. But eventually, the doors started to open, and we maneuvered into
Well, what I want to tell you about the locks is that the Troy lock, there's just that big post. You have to take your own line and tie it around. But the other locks, 2 through even 7, they have ropes hanging down from the top, and you grab one of those ropes, and the boat next to us, they would take the end and put it around the cleat, and they were kind of managing the line like that. I tried to do it, but our cleat, it wasn't enough room. And, I had this nightmare of the rope getting caught on our boat. And you can read about that on our blog. But anyway, I just couldn't seem to get it under the cleat to do it. So I was just, doing the grade school, trying to climb the rope as the boat moved up. But those locks also had a pipe about that big around in one of those insets. So on some I did the cable, did the riding the horse up. On some, I just did the rope hand over hand.
Oh, you did a great job.
Oh, you're too kind. But anyway,
we were
if we
worn
can
out.
do it, oh my goodness, if we can do it,
when we
you
got
certainly
here
can
in
do it.
Schenectady, we
Yeah.
were going to go and take the trolley and go
Right.
downtown. We were emotionally and physically worn out.
Yeah.
Rev more physically than me, but
It was
it was
exhausting.
emotionally exhausting because of navigating up through the locks and a lot of time really waiting for the lockmaster and waiting to get in and out. But we did have great chats with every one of the
They're
lockmasters.
so nice.
Yeah.
Yes, and I made these little brown paper bag. I wrote "thank you" with the magic marker on the outside. I took a rope. I rolled up the top,
And what was in
so a
them?
handle
What
had
was
a
in
handle. So we went to Sam's. I got a packet. You know, I have all those little chip bags, and then Famous Amos cookies. So I threw one of each in those. Threw our boat card in, and wrapped that up. And then I took one to every lock. Now there were sometimes 2 people running the lock, but you have a person that's helping you, and so that's the person that
And I think they
that we
appreciated
thanked.
that.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
Oh yeah, very friendly.
The other thing was people coming out at the locks, you know, and taking a look at the
right.
boats, waving.
Right.
Just a really pleasant experience.
Yeah.
So highly recommend it. The Erie Canal, and
Yeah.
we've got a number of locks to go, but we're taking
Yeah.
a break here in Schenectady,
Right.
New York, where there's a concert tonight.
Yeah, so it was it was scary at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be fine. So peace be with you.
All right, and see you on down the line. Take
All right.
care.
Bye.
Bye.